For 99% of people, buying a principal residence is going to be the best investment that you can make. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why I feel that is. I'm that Agent Kelly. I talk about Canadian real estate in my local market of Abbotsford and the Fraser Valley. If you like that, subscribe to the channel. Hope you enjoy the new setup. Like this video. And if you want to chat one-on-one, I got a link in my description that will book right into my calendar. The principal residence exemption is the best tax exemption that we get as Canadians. You can buy a home, live in it. You need to live somewhere anyways, so you're either paying rent or you're living in your home, but let's just assume that you buy the home and you live in it. When you eventually sell, you can now profit hundreds of thousands of dollars, hopefully completely tax-free. Now, I, being I guess business owner, although I'm a realtor, I don't really know if a lot of people classify that as a business, but being a entrepreneur, let's just say, I am a big advocate for renting, saving the difference, and then using the money that you would have spent to buy a home, hundreds of thousands of dollars, 50, 60, 80 grand, and then just investing that in a business to increase your active income. However, for most people, 99% of people, 90%, I should say, likely aren't going to start a business. And of the 10% that do go into business and become self-employed, only 10% of the 10% actually do a good job of that. So that leaves a whole lot of people that'd probably be better off if they just bought a principal residence to live in. Just that exemption alone has probably made more millionaires. Well, actually, factually and statistically has made more millionaires than literally anything else. And especially where we live, because it seems like pretty much every millionaire I know did it via real estate. Other than the principal residence exemption, like what do you really have? You have the TFSA, which has an annual contribution limit, and then you have an RRSP, which you can't actually withdraw your money from. Now, if you plan on having a high income in retirement, that isn't really a good vehicle to actually build wealth. Now, for the TFSA, you can invest money. Again, it has an annual cap, but then you can't leverage that money 5x. At most, you're probably gonna get 3x on the S&P. And leverage is far more risky in stocks than it is in real estate. Some people would argue the latter, but in my opinion, if real estate goes down, I can just rent it out. If stocks go down a certain point and you're on margin, you're getting margin called and liquidated. Nobody's gonna margin call me on my house, at least for the most part. Now, some people will make the argument that, what's the point of the money that I make from my principal residence if everything else that I'm going to buy has also appreciated in value? And that's a fair point. But you're only looking at this from one angle. Like, what if your income is a lot higher 10 years from now? What if you want to start a business 10 years from now? You have hundreds of thousands of dollars extra that you can use to either grow a business and then at that point, take on a higher mortgage payment if you want to. Maybe you don't want to live in Vancouver anymore. Maybe you want to move to Calgary or Florida or Arizona. Now you can take the capital that you earned here and transfer it into a market that maybe hasn't appreciated as much as your home here. Again, maybe your income is higher and you want to use the equity you've gained in that first home to take on a bigger home, maybe with a rental suite or something of that nature, and just move up the ladder in property. Well, you can't do that without having the down payment to start with. So that's what that is going to help with. And I get what you're saying is like, oh, well, if everything just appreciates at the same time, then the money doesn't really do much for me. Well, it does, because you can leverage it at 5x. If I make 100 grand in my principal residence, I can buy an extra $500,000 worth of property. Well, all the property has only gone up $100,000, but I can now afford to buy an extra $500,000 so long as I have the income to support that, which you might in 10 years. So for the majority of people, I would say well over 90%, the principal residence exemption is going to be the best way to build wealth, right? You can buy stocks, you can do all these other things, but the easiest, most hands-off, you need somewhere to live anyways, way to build wealth is going to be the principal residence exemption. Like, subscribe, see you on the next video.